now time for the news.
Nice.
It'd have been nice if I had a hammer time button. That would have been.
No.
I think you might need to pay for that one though.
Maybe possibly.
I mean,
Yeah. Unless you just, if we're doing a video, we'll just have a picture of a hammer on a clock. That must be stock footage somewhere. Anyway.
Probably. You're up first.
I'm up first, yes. So we have, guess what I'm talking about? Go and guess.
Suzuki. Oh no, I know what it is. Kawasaki Versys.
Kawasaki Versys. Because
Yep.
you know how much I love that bike, right?
Oh, I know.
It's the new Triumph Tiger 1200. Ooh, look at this. It looks amazing, right? If you like Triumph Tigers and adventure bikes, of course.
Of course.
So, as we hinted on the last episode, Triumph are testing a couple of new bikes in that lovely Triumph wallpaper that we were on about. Yep, absolutely.
I've tried chopping for it. I can't get it anymore.
No, fair enough. No, did you try Laura, actually?
I did.
Oh, fair enough.
I
Right,
did.
okay.
But no.
No, okay, and Habitat's not anymore, so it's not going to be Habitat. So.
No. Even IKEA don't do it.
What can I say? You know. Last time though, as we digress slightly, we focused on the smaller variant as the new 1200 was not in sight. Now we have caught some glimpses of the new 1200. Triumph are claiming that the new machine will have more power, but will also be significantly lighter than its closest competitors. Yeah, a closer competition. Yeah, you wrote that right, and I read it wrong this time.
Yes,
well done.
Oh,
well done.
Vindicated.
Absolutely. Looking at the images, the engine seems to be more compact, and the exhaust head is a touch lower than the outgoing model. So, it looks that way, but it's still it doesn't take away from the look of the bike at all. It still makes the bike look really quite kind of chunky. So
I can't wait to see that in the flesh.
I know,
and
that will be a wee trip through Edinburgh.
A lot of people are saying this could be a GS killer. This new 1200 Triumph. There's a lot of people have already kind of commented on it already. So,
the capacity we think will remain the same, with maybe a tweak in power to tip it over the 150 brake horsepower, which is needed. Yeah, totally. It's a wee bit sluggish. So, according to what we've read, yeah. Aye. So, in comparison to your GS,
then you look at. We were just talking obviously about Pan America. So it's the 150 mark. You've got the Multistrada, which is 100 and whatever. It's over 150.
Aye.
The KTM's 170 something. So they're all starting to keep over that 150 mark. So it's about Triumph getting ahead of hopefully BM.
Aye, just to get it up a wee bit more of a push. The pictures look like an XCA model, which possibly will be changed to the Rally model to keep it in line with Tiger 900
Makes
range.
sense.
Also, it looks like they've increased the wheel size of the new off-roader. So it used to be a 19, 17-inch set of rims, but it looks like it's grown to a 21, 18 pair, which will make it'll handle tricky terrain a lot easier. So if you're going to, it's clearly, all the advertising blurb, the video stuff that they're sending out, they're really pushing the fact that you don't want to take it on a road. Really,
Aye.
it is about that whole adventure thing and stuff. Will the majority of people that buy it take it off roads? No. But absolutely.
However, they have the option then.
But they're bringing out a road-only GT version, which will probably keep the smaller wheels.
Aye, because there's no point in having a 20-inch front wheel on a road bike.
No, absolutely. Front and rear suspension looks like it's been an upgrade as well, with the rear looking like the ZF unit that Darren used to have in his F850 GSA.
Aye, so if anybody looks at the pictures, look at the back wheel, the back, almost where the grab handles would be.
Yep.
There's that little kind of piston, looks like a pump, looks like a bike pump,
Right.
with a gold thingy on it.
That's sure.
And that's the kind of the
ZF
ZF
unit. And while the shaft drive remains in place, it appears they've redesigned it for a twin spar design. So hopefully we'll get a full view in the next couple of months with it being on sale early 2022. So we'll certainly be talking about it, and with the video popping up some pics and stuff like that as well.
Aye,
Really
and
cool.
definitely the minute it hits, I think it's a trip through to Edinburgh.
Trip through to Edinburgh for me to film it and Dan to go on it, because my wee toesies will never touch the ground on it.
Unless we do Pilgrim.
I don't think they'll have one that they've lowered the seat on it and then physically taken the covers off and scooped out all the foam just so that somebody like me can.
But then they do the 900
Has got a low. That's
it's
right.
got a low version.
Yeah,
and
just still quite high.
Oh, is it?
Well, I think for me, because obviously I've got such wee legs that I would also then have to go in and scoop out some of the foam as well. So.
Oh,
My
Watch
mate-
this space.
My
You
mate
know.
has said to me though, but he's got similar size legs to me, and he rides Kawasaki Versys, and he does said he said you should come and sit on mine just to see what it feels like comfortable wise.
Oh, we're videoing that.
So I'll let you know. He might even let me ride it, and I might be persuaded to like it. I don't know.
Well, actually, fun enough,
He raves about it, and I know it is a brilliant bike, a competent bike, and everything, but it's just
the guys that at biker school around the corner, they obviously they've got a partnership with Kawasaki. All their main bikes are Kawasaki's.
I passed my test in Kawasaki.
Aye, their examiners have got 2 new 650 Versys, which is good because it makes gives them a bigger command position, I think.
That's a great idea.
But obviously the bikes were delivered by Corduroy Kawasaki, and I popped a note to those guys on Instagram to say, we need to pop through, and they were like, anytime you guys want to come through, just come through. The coffee machine's always on.
That was nice we know that one.
So
Good.
nice that we know we can pop through there and have a look at the Versys and then go, I don't like that. But I was thinking more so for the Z900 RS in yellow.
Yellow and black.
Yellow and black. Possible Honda VFR replacement.
This does excite me a wee bit because
I love the VFR. I would, if I had enough money, I would buy a VFR just as a second bike, just because I think it's such a good bike. But the production of the VFR obviously ceased with the Euro 5 introduction, so there's definitely a clear gap in Honda's lineup. Well, there is now possible incoming void filler. I'm going to go a void filler. I know, just
the void
filler. Definitely big shoes to fill though.
Yep.
From Honda's perspective. But earlier this year, they trademark registered NT1100, and now there's further evidence to support that this. They've actually filled out a form by the European type approval, which means that we could see this possible NT1100, which I think is going to be the VFR replacement. So what can we assume? Well, I think the 1100 engine, because it's NT1100.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a given.
Aye, and given the fact that they're kind of...
It's not going to be a 125.
No. But given the fact that they've taken that same engine, tweaked it slightly and put it into the Rebel, would indicate that they're doing something similar with that new 1100 engine. Now, whether they keep the same tuning that the Rebel's got, or the same tuning that the Africa Twin has, or whether they do something completely different, no idea. The African Twin would be my gut version to stay with that, because it would be a wee bit more in tune with what a possible VFR replacement would be, but you never know. It should be a sports tourer of sorts, probably around the 240, 250 kilogram weight, with the power coming in at about 7,000 RPM mark, which is roughly where the actual VFR used to sit.
Yeah.
Manual transmission variant and the possible DCT version also, because why would you not? Because if you're going to do sports touring, DCT works an absolute treat. Although if anyone's seen it on Instagram, just don't, you know what I mean, try and rev the bike when you're going at DCT mode.
Yes.
So get it going. But all of this would need to sit around about the 11 to 13,000 pound market in order to make it appetising in that space.
Aye.
Again, Honda, as always, will remain super tight-lipped, but with 2022 kind of just literally around the corner. Although, as my eldest told me the other day, there was 83 days to Christmas. Where's my tumbleweed?
Moving on.
So yeah, hopefully we'll get some more sight of that. Even maybe some, again, they'll not put it in Triumph wallpaper, but something along those lines where we get some pictures of them actually demonstrating it, because I think the VFR is a massive loss to Honda's lineup.
We miss you, VFR.
Aye, and it's not that they did the 1200 range and then they did the 800 as well, and I think both were super bikes. I don't mean super bikes as in super bikes, but as in they were just stunning. And the model that had the twin pipes coming up and right at the back of the cowl under the seat. Oh,
aye, very good.
Quick,
Nice.
move on, please.
Staying with Honda, there's a new upgrade to the Honda 500 range.
Is there?
Yeah, Honda have unveiled 3 new upgraded 500s. The CBF 500F, which is naked, the CB 500X adventure bike, and the CBR 500R, the baby blade. Now, all the bikes get most of the same upgrades with new shoulder forks, triple trees, new swing arm, Nissan calipers, and 296mm discs. The F and the R versions have a slight weight shift forward to the front to provide some extra grip on the front rubber. The R and X get LED lights, with the R's being lifted straight off of the 650R. And the X LEDs also work as position lights, the same as its big brother, the Africa Twin. The engine remains the same on all three, which is a 47 brake horsepower. Again, designed for that A2 rider market, so, you know, look smart, but no point and squirt to the point that you're going to hit a wall, kind of thing, really, isn't it?
Aye, no. I was trying to think where that
where
analogy was going there. I was like, panic setting in.
So while the A2 market is clearly its target, and they have come out, Honda have come out with some interesting facts. So, are you ready? This is.
I am.
It's factoid time.
I was going to say I can't wait for these, but I kind of know what they are. So,
for all you Honda fact junkies out there, because I know fact junkies, 75% of CB500X owners are experienced riders,
which is actually quite high.
That is quite high.
Do you know what I mean?
Nearly half of CB500F sales are people who are new to biking, which doesn't quite compute in my head. But anyway, right. But it does work out. But yeah, 50% of sales, and I take it that's new CB500Fs or bought through the Honda dealership, I would imagine.
Aye, bought through the Honda dealership. So of half of those that they sell, half of them are new to biking.
New to biking. But maybe they hold on to it.
Which would make sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
New bikers, either A2 or whatever, then a CBF is it's quite a solid bike. So,
and 60% of CBR 500R owners, the baby blade, are under 34.
Because that's the one they can get insured for.
So I think what they're trying to say is these bikes are not just for A2 riders, but to be fair, I wouldn't be picking one of them as my bike now.
No, I think
rider, but
I'm looking at the CBR 500R, right? You're looking at it and going, see if you had like your normal bike, say you bought a Triumph Tiger.
Yep.
And that was your bike you did tours on, you went back and forward to work on and all that kind of stuff. But you wanted a bike that you could go out and have a bit of fun on, try and get a knee down, all that kind of stuff. Then the CBR 500R would potentially be one of those options.
Yep.
The only thing I would say is why would you do that and not just buy or sell a CBR 650R?
Aye, well,
but
as an experienced rider, yeah.
But I get what they mean by it. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't really surprise me. CB500F is a great example because it's a good solid upright bike. It does. You mean you can't really fault it. I don't know why they brought a 500R though when you get a 650R.
Probably that probably is,
unless the 650 is just over the A2 market.
Probably just. So. Anyway, there we go. So that's a wee bit of Honda news and a bit of Honda facts.
Honda facts. That could be a whole segment. Honda facts.
Facts about Honda.
We talked about Harley Davidson Pan America earlier, but there was a little snippet in one of the journals. Just about how well the Pan America has actually done from a sales perspective. So Harley Davidson have said that since its launch in February this year, Pan America has been a sales sensation. Sensation. The 1250 Special has become the top-selling adventure touring bike in the USA.
That's But to be fair, it's the USA, so they've probably only sold about 12 touring bikes.
Is every bike a touring bike in the States because it's just long straight roads? I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's doing a disservice to our lovely listeners over in the States.
Absolutely.
But then I don't know how big a seller the likes of the BM and Triumphs and all that would be there. I don't know if it's KTM would be big or Ducati maybe.
KTM's mentioned quite a lot in the old long way round and long way up and long way round. So you know what I mean? And obviously there's an American market there. I think KTM's got a big base. in America. It's a big,
So-
you know. What was I was watching YouTube? I love this guy Peter McKinnon on YouTube, right? Photographer, video, filmmaker, and all that. But he's got a friend that rides for KTM in America, and it's massive over there.
Is that the guy with the weird? Is that the guy with the building? I think I've seen some of his stuff.
He's actually Canadian rather than American. But
I think I've seen his stuff.
so that's brilliant.
Kind of long
Hair,
thingy hair.
kinda scruffy beard.
I think I watched one of his things about the
Yeah.
iPhone.
Probably what we should do is give a wee mention to Peter McKinnon on a podcast.
Aye.
We'll mention him in the hope that he picks it up and goes, actually, these guys are
I'm
pretty
sure
cool.
he's got a pretty cool loft place with like a.
Oh, it's got an amazing place. Absolutely fantastic. And
That is the guy.
I think it's about 2 years ago. I think he moved into the new place, but it's just incredible, and the stuff he does and is really cool. He's got a big thing for Ford vans and trucks. He loves them. He's got a Ford Raptor, and he's got his old. I know.
I like Ford
Yeah,
Raptor.
and he's got an old Ford truck from like the 60s or something like that. It's really cool. You know. Yeah.
We'll at him. On
Well,
some
at
sort.
Peter McKinnon and say we gave him a shout out, and hopefully
Hopefully,
he'll send on
he's
these
in.
1 million plus subscribers. Do you know what I mean?
It's mental.
It was Peter McKinnon that I got the whole kind of concept and idea for our average bikers.
Oh, because he has got a video that has very similar. I think it's the same tune that we use.
No, it's very similar, but it's
slightly different.
It's slightly different. But yeah, so Peter McKinnon was where I got the inspiration for our average bikers video. So if you've watched that and enjoyed that, then look at Peter McKinnon stuff.
We should tag him on that and just say, "Listen, you're an inspiration."
And financially, you know, out with financial constraints, if Peter McKinnon recommends something, I tend to go, "Ooh, I want that." You know, camera wise, video wise, you know. And
Well,
he was a big praised the GoPro 10 Black.
Well, he did a
You know,
whole thing on the iPhone.
If only had one of
13.
them. He did. I loved
Aye.
it. His stuff in
So-
everything was great. So
Hence why I went, "Ooh."
we digress slightly from
We do,
motorcycles,
aye.
but still catch out Peter McKinnon
Aye.
if you can, folks.
He's got some good stuff up there.
But
Actually,
only
And he-
after you've listened to and watched Average
and he-
Bikers in the Cave.
And they've got monkey bikes and all sorts of
Aye,
stuff that they do
that's right,
stuff
yeah.
on. So,
Yeah.
so there you go. We brought it back full circle. Saved.
Yeah, and this is to do with Peter McKinnon about bikers. His review of the GoPro 10 Black. They put it on an FPV drone and follow this guy from KTM around the motocross thing.
Oh, did he?
It's a phenomenal
Oh,
bit of video.
wow.
And they've got it. They've got the GoPro on the motocross bike and they fly it on an FPV drone. It is definitely, if you like your motocross stuff, watch that. It's really cool.
Cool.
Really
There you
cool.
go. There's a recommendation. Harley's CEO says that those who now own or have tested and dropped, in some cases, one of
What
the
do you mean dropped? I love the Pan America. I couldn't put it down. Well,
you could put it down.
I
That
could
was
put
the
it down
problem.
very easily.
He says that they absolutely love this bike. Having sold out of our 2021 allocation, we are excited about what the future has in store for the Pan America, which kind of reinforces the discussion that actually I had at the weekend, just about how that you cannot get them for love and the money. So there you go.
Excellent.
Ian, it's like Christmas.
It's like Christmas. There's another new Triumph. Yes, the new Triumph Speed Triple RR, which just
Now, I can't remember if we hinted at this last
We did.
show.
we did. I think we talked
Because
because
it
it was
literally
it was
just
like a
it
teaser
literally
thing.
just came.
And it was just, I don't know what we talked about, but it was maybe just a wee bit like that.
Because I think just before you came to me, the two of us had both messaged each other kind of very similarly. and went,
have you seen this? So but we've got some more details now, including what it actually looks like, which is just it's like Tron
lovely.
meets Cafe Racer, right?
Aye.
I love it, but guess what? It's got quite a high seat height. So I read it meant.
Do you notice that I think I purposely left that out of here?
I know. I think cheers.
Sorry.
It's got but it's also got quite a high price. But
It's quite pricey, but
anyway, we'll go through the details anyway, folks, just so that you can get a wee sense of how awesome this bike's going to probably perform. So here we go. Right, it looks good. Like the RS Super Naked, the new RR gets the same 176 brake horsepower, 1160cc engine, the same Brembo brakes and calipers with 320mm discs, and it also has the same lean sensitive ABS. Hang on, is this just another RS? Yeah, sort of,
kind of.
but in other parts. So parts, in other parts, No, because the suspension on the RR is electronic semi-active, which sounds impressive, but what it really means is that the settings will change depending on the riding mode. So it means easier to change on the go and depending on the type of conditions you're on. And let's be honest, in Scotland and in England, in the UK, you know, your weather conditions, your riding conditions can change in a heartbeat, especially this time of year. You know what I mean? So, so the RS doesn't have that. It's got a 6-axis IMU control, which controls the traction and gives you varying levels of intervention depending on your ability or thirst for danger. I like that.
Aye.
Thirst for danger.
Thirst for danger.
Your thirst for danger.
Aye, or your thirst for stupidity.
Your thirst for stupidity, absolutely. This coupled with new rubber and the Pirelli Supercourse SPV3 tyres should make for some fun times regardless of the road you're on. Yeah, there's all the boring bits from the RS, TFT dash, backlight, switch gear, cruise control, self-cancelling indicators, blah, 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 blah. But the RS doesn't have, what the RS doesn't have is the stunning good looks that the RR's got. It's got a semi-faired angular front cowl, which just...
The front cowl
the
is
front cowl
absolutely...
just, you know,
it's the,
absolutely. And not a, no hearing aid beige in sight. Yes, which is great. So it's got a really modern side and shape to, but still looks really classy the way they've done it. They've taken that kind of like cafe racer kind of feel to the styling, but made it like super modern. So
I would say that's the best front end I've seen on a bike this year.
I'd say it's the best front end I've seen this year. Thank you. So well done, that's really good. I'm glad you get the right button there. It'd have been funny if you'd gone and went, yeah. Poor Ian, what a life he's got. So clip-on bars giving it the sports bike position. It rounds off probably the best looking bike I think certainly I've seen, and I think you're the same, Dan. One of the best bikes that we've seen.
That front cowl.
It's just yeah. It's on sale in 2022 and it will start at £17,950 for the white one and £18,200 for the red. Yeah, that is a lot of money, but look at what you're getting. It's not that expensive, so you know, look at the competitors, look at the other bikes and up there. It's you know, you're getting a lot of tech, a lot of really cutting edge electronics, cutting edge handling. It's just it should be a beautiful bit of machinery. And to be honest, for £250, get that red.
If you think about it, you're up there. You're looking at again 176 brake. Albeit it's no M1000RR money, but then an M1000RR is well over that price. Right. Your closest competitors, maybe one of the Augustas. You know what I mean? Yeah. But again, it's just it doesn't have that front end. I kid you not. It's if you haven't seen
a picture, we'll put a picture up on the video because this bit's going to make video this week. And we'll put a picture, put some images up on it because it is.
It's the fact that when you look at it front on, it looks round. It looks everything's very rounded
and retro. But
the minute you even go to like 20 degrees side on, it's got this lovely crease upside, which gives it that almost cut fairing look. It's absolutely
the details
beautiful.
and the LEDs and the lights. You know it's just.
I would say all round, it's the best looking bike I've seen this year. Other than what we've got coming up later, which the whole back end just changes
just
things.
Different, but that's a different category.
That is a different category.
You know,
I mean, but definitely that's probably one of the best bikes I've seen this year.
It's probably certainly one of the best looking bikes you'll see on the road next year.
That's a good shout. I'll give you that.
There you go. So that's the new Triumph, and I'm just going to go away now and kind of mop up all the wee that's just happened. So
I was going to say something else, but I'll leave it at that.
Right, sure.
Kawasaki, and it's not a Versys. Hurrah! Kawasaki are bringing out a new retro 650. So the last time we chatted, we were kind of drilling over the Z900 RS. Again, mainly because it was very 70s vibe, but it was in like stunning yellow and black.
Yeah,
which every bike should be. There should not be any other colour. Now, Kawasaki has announced that it's bringing.
That's right. That was for Dave Thompson out there. If he's listening,
Dave, you're listening. Kawasaki. they're bringing out a new Z650 RS, so it's like obviously just using the same, but put a smaller engine in it. You would have thought.
Yep.
So it's utilising the liquid cooled, the water cooled Z650 engine. So that's the one that's in the Z650. It's in the Ninja 650. Puts out about 67 brake horsepower. Again, using the tried and tested components from his brothers and sisters in the 650 range, including the 300mm front discs and calipers, the 41mm telescopic forks, and the rear preloaded horizontal suspension and stuff. All of that is staying the same. It is a familiar approach from taking the heart of two great bikes and then just dressing it up differently. Most manufacturers are doing it.
Absolutely, yeah.
However, it comes with a nice new rounded LED front light and indicators that have probably came off the 900 RS to give it that kind of classic retro feel. And for the rider, 2 beautiful analog dials.
I love an
And
analog dial.
I know. And
I mean, see when I was on the when I was watching like Long Way Up,
yeah,
and you saw the live wire, and it's like, you know,
with his little
LCD screen
computer
and everything. And then when I was on the Pan America, and you get that lovely interactive, and I love all that, right? And it's like, you know, it's having an app and everything, and you know all that.
You don't connect your phone to it and all that kind of stuff. Fine.
When you've got a retro bike like my Street Cup, I would
a retro bike for me should have
analog dials.
Obviously, they've put a digital console
yep.
in the middle, so that you can still get some of the readings and all that kind of good stuff that you get. But for me, you should, on a retro bike, you should still have those 2 beautiful, you know what I mean? And again, we talked about this before. If they could make them digital but look analog in their function,
absolutely, yeah,
it would be like the end of the world. The seat height on this is going to be around about the 820mm, which again isn't massively huge, but because 650,
that's right in my limit.
However, they've slimmed the profile of the tank, so the tank's actually quite a slim profile,
right.
So that might make it seem
easier. Yeah,
like it's a little bit closer.
I think
to the
820s run about the
length.
Yeah, the RR length as well. I think maybe 830, but you know, so
again, though, if it's get that slant, if that tank comes in slightly, before you get to it, that might just make it that wee bit. It might seem less tall than what it actually is.
Or I might have to just buy boots with really big heels.
Aye, platforms. Set up Elton John's, get them on eBay.
There must be a whole pile of people who were goths in the 2000s. You know what I mean? They've got these boots lying about. They
These
might want
big,
to sell.
massive New Rock things.
That's it.
Aye. There's a few early accessories that have came to light, including chrome grab bar, radiator cover, brushed aluminium instrument cluster, so that kind of fits across the middle and then up and the sides, which looks really smart. Its competition really though is going to be Triumph Street Twin, which is again slightly that's tough competition.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Because
the Street Twin's an icon. The Street Twin is an absolute icon. You know what I mean? And I think if it was me looking at just purely for the Triumph name alone, I know I'm a bit of a Triumph geek, right? And I get that I like the Triumphs and everything, but to me, that's the epitome of a retro make about Triumph, BSA, that kind of
AGS, all those kind of
old school stuff. You know, like the other podcast here, we were talking about the 1970s information video. You know, the retro bikes, which is brilliant, right? If you haven't seen it yet, go onto the social media pages and have a look at it. It's dead good. But you know, when you think back to a bike that's a retro bike, Kawasaki doesn't. I know, and it's wrong because Kawasaki's retro range, and I remember
when you look back at the original Z1,
it's stunning retro bikes. And I remember a few years ago when I was doing some photography for a guy owned a chain of hotels, but he was a massive Kawasaki fan, and it was one of the Scottish bike show things, and it was down in, it was like strange, it was down kind of Fenwick way, and in this big thing, and which is quite cool because you watched this guy doing these kind of wheel spin things, and he actually blew his tyre up, which was quite impressive. Don't think he meant to be fair. I think he was trying to just show off.
If he meant to, that was even more impressive.
His tyre went pop, and it was quite funny. And I took these beautiful pictures. I don't even know where they are now of this guy's massive collection of retro Kawasaki's from the 70s, and they were just absolutely gorgeous. You know, retro bikes. So, but for somebody that doesn't know that, it's going to be tough competition because your head's going to go Royal Enfield or Triumph or something like that. Because
Aye, and the problem with the Royal Enfield Interceptor, and I do like the Royal Enfield Interceptor and the Continental.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Problem with those is they're massively underpowered compared to that 650 that Kawasaki are going to put in it.
Yeah.
So, aye, I don't know. I get what they're trying to do.
Retro's not fast for me. Retro, you know, and I think
And even at that,
a few people think that way.
I'm a big guy, and I've ridden Manacla's Ninja 650, which is the same engine, and it's way quick. Do you know what I mean? It's far quicker than what you think it is. So, I think even in that retro guys, it's not gonna. I mean, you're gonna notice it being more than quick enough for a kind of Sunday distinguished gentleman style ride. Do you know what I mean? So, aye, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see when it lands. I think how successful it is.
I think where Kawasaki are going to do really well here is the price point.
Aye, because it's coming
in comparison to like your Triumph Street Twin.
So it's coming in at 7,549, and that's for the default kind of. They call it Spark Black. It's just black. If you pay 769, you can get it in emerald green, which I've seen the pictures of, and it's not Kawasaki green, so it's not KRG green.
Yeah.
It's much more 70s than that, which is quite nice. And again, they've kept the pinstripe, which is really nice.
That's smart. That's smart.
Or you can get it in moondust grey.
Silver.
Now, moondust grey is a kind of it's silver, right? But again, I think it's got a slight orange pinstripe tip.
Oh, nice.
So the orange pinstripe, but it's not like it's like a burnt orange. So it's
Right.
not like orange. It's more a kind of bronzy orange pinstripe tip, which is quite. It is
detailing
quite
you found
nice.
in your granny's 1970s carpet. That kind of orange.
That kind of orange.
Aye,
That's exactly it. They've literally just taken that and went into B&Q and went, "Can you colour match?" So the only thing is it doesn't come in yellow and black.
Sorry, what?
It doesn't come in yellow and black.
Kawasaki, if you're listening,
I'll just buy it. It would just be a case. I'll just have the 900 RS then.
well, that's fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Slightly quicker, and it comes in my favourite colour. But as we've known, that could all change next year. It could be bye moondust grey and hello screaming yellow.
Yeah, it could be it. Pearlescent daffodil.
Oh, that'd be a good name. We should have an actual. Would you what? We'll have a chat to our friend, and I'm doing air quotes again. Our friend,
our
in
friend.
Harley Davidson, that comes up with really good colour schemes.
You know, we didn't even mention that your friend was in Harley Davidson, but you just have now.
Well, I did say that I was in Harley Davidson talking to them about
we
colours.
never directly said
did
that. Then, well,
I still don't know who it is. There's a lot of people in there.
okay. Sorry about that, Sean. Oops. No,
I don't even know if there's a Sean in there.
I don't know. To be fair, no.
But aye, we'll see.
Cool.
We'll do a colour special.
I love it. Colours. Probably. What about the most ridiculous names for colours that are actually out there on the bike?
That's the thing. We
can have a wee poll. We'll put a wee poll on our social media.
That's a Google thing going to happen right
absolutely.
now. If you're listening out there and you've had a bike that has had the most ridiculous, stupidest colour ever, then let us know. My wife's is got a weird name for hers, but essentially it's just white. It's white, but they get some weird name. I'll look it up and let you know. But it's just white.
Yeah, so if you've got a bike out there that you got coloured in trapezoidal cerise explosion, let us know. Do you know what I mean? That's what we want to know.
If you've got a bike out there that's in failed accountant brown, then please let us know.
Absolutely. There's quite a lot of cars that seem to be around in failed accountant brown at the moment, I would say.
I know. I don't know if it's a trend.
I don't know.
I can't imagine a massive resale value.
Pearlescent failed accountant brown, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you need that little bit of sparkle.
A wee bit of sparkle on your corduroys, that's what you want. Do you know what I mean?
Accountant Corduroy Brown.
Corduroy Brown. That's it. That's a new one for the new Royal Enfield.
I'm thinking that's the name of the show, this week's show.
Yep.
Accountant Corduroy Brown.
That's it. Perfect. Moving on, last few bit here. This is. I seem to be the person to kind of go off on a tangent here with the news not relating to bikes, but we'll bring it back round to it. This is a little snippet of news from the tennis world. So you may or may not know, but Darren enjoys a wee knockabout in the court.
He does.
He likes to get his racket out and whack his balls, and that's playing tennis. So what's this got to do with motorbikes? I hear you cry.
What's this got to do with motorbikes, Ian?
I thought I heard you cry that. Well, on September the 11th, Emma Raducanu, I'm pronouncing that right, haven't I?
That is right, Emma
Yeah.
Raducanu.
You know, won the US Open in New York. I'm sure if you watched it, it was super exciting. Well done, the girls, it was absolutely brilliant. First British woman to win a major since 1977.
Virginia Wade. Was the
Virginia
last
Wade.
one?
She was in the audience, wasn't she?
She was.
In the crowd, the audience.
I thought it was Sue Barker. But actually,
Aye.
Sue Barker won the French, I think, the same year. But because it was earlier in the year, anyway, we digress. I'm getting
It was
bored
just,
now.
that was our tennis fact. And at age 18 and in only her fourth professional tournament, she came through all the wild card qualifying to win without dropping a set, which is impressive because that's all Darren never does, is drop sets when he's playing tennis. But
Aye.
there you go.
Constantly.
So, well done, Emma. We shall at you and mention you in this and let you know you've got a wee name check. Maybe you can let all your tennis fans know that biking, average bikers in the cave also talk about tennis.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously we'll take a few podcasts, but we realise we don't. But by that point, they'll be hooked. Now, again, I can hear you screaming.
What's this got to do with biking, Ian?
Exactly. Well, Emma Raducanu used to be a motocross racer. So, bombing around on a Kawasaki crosser, she was quite the competitor, even racing karts also. But eventually, unfortunately for motocross, but big up for British tennis, she did give it up to focus on tennis. And as far as we're concerned, she is just an average biker, but also a US Open champion.
At 18.
At 18.
It's mental.
Exactly. So, Emma, if you're up in Scotland and you want to come and meet the average bikers and get out on the bikes, let us know. Darnell.
We'll be doing well with that one.
I know.
We will
Do you know,
be doing well
it's
with
worth
that.
a go. innit?
Absolutely.
You've got to give a shout
If
out.
you don't ask, you
you
don't.
know?
You don't ask, you don't get. Do
You're
you know
up
what I
in
mean?
Scotland, Emma, and you think, do you know,
I
these
never
couple
thought we'd actually get your drawn in, and we got your drawn in.
exactly. We've had Outlander. Now we just need a US Open winner. That's all we need.
So it's, aye,
Aye, there we go.
I'm game for that. You know what I mean?
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
We did say right at the very top at our intro every week. You know what I mean? That we might go off on a tangent, but
Just a
we'll
tad.
try and bring it
We'll keep
back.
it back
It's
in,
very loosely based
So-
on what's like.
Emma, if you're listening, or if you eventually listen, or if one of Emma's friends is listening, or even if one of Emma's friends of friends of friends of friends are listening, we know you're a biker, and we know that if you're up in Scotland, we're here. We'll do a wee tour.
You think about it, but right, she's won the US Open,
Mhm.
right? She couldn't even qualify to go on a bike above a 125,
That's,
even with a full license.
even a full license, I know. You can borrow John's mutt. I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll be absolutely
I'm sure he
fine.
would be fine. I'm sure he'd be absolutely delighted with that. Just watch the number plate's a bit dodgy in the back with the glue.
Not for long. You know,
Not for
we've got one
long.
ordered. So there we go.
And that was. I'm not going to press the button again.
I press the button again. Go on,
Sure.
press the button. Go on. That was.
Hello, it's now time for the news.
But
That's
you
why I wasn't going to press the button because it was
says,
coming out
we've
as
got
the
that time
default.
thing. But then if there's some Doctor Who fans out there, they'll probably just think they're watching an episode.
Yeah, that they're going to be like, oh, we're in the Matrix, it's deja vu.
Exactly. Boom, boom, boom.
I know.